On today's episode of the Views from 400 podcast, it's catching up on the Olympics. The Winter Olympics are underway. Go through some headlines if they're true or false. We have our winners and losers of the week, and we'll finish it up with some college basketball talk. It's almost March Madness time. We got like a month. Check out our bracketology on viewsfromtech400.com. All right, we'll see you guys soon.
And just like that, we're back.
A16, turn me up.
Welcome to episode 244 of the Views from Section 400 podcast. Today is February 12th, 2026. And for the next couple of months, we live in a world without football.
Such a shame, right, Brian? It's what we put this show on is football, college football, NFL. But look, there's no sense in us stopping the madness, no pun intended, with what's in store in a couple of weeks. But we got to keep it going, man. It's what the people want. It's what they tune in for. And we'll stay dialed in with the action. Look, I know I can keep it going with the summer sports. I know you and Jack, the golf, the NASCAR, you don't love it.
NASCAR I'll never get into. Golf I've been getting more into over the years. NASCAR, you'll never get me there.
Well, look, there's 365 days in a year, Brian, not 4 to 6 months of NFL and college football. So we got to keep it going. But it is sad. It is sad that we don't get football until, unless you want to talk about the USFL, but let's rather not.
Yeah, us being the college basketball sickos we are, at least we have a couple more months for me where I'll be dialed in to sports all over. And then, of course, over the summer we do stuff, but the 400s are over the summer for a reason.
Yeah, definitely good filler. But we'll keep it live, we'll keep it rocking, and excited for the next couple months into the summer. And before we know it, it'll be week 1 of the NFL. So no harm, no foul there.
Yeah, the draft will feel like it's in a week from now once we get there. But we do have some Olympics to at least keep us semi-occupied without football. And I just got some headlines here. I want to run by you, play a little game of true or false if these have actually happened at the Winter Olympics.
Let's do it. I have not, for everybody watching at home, I have not been that dialed in or tuned in. Other than watching Lindsey Vonn blow out her ACL, that's about the only Olympic updates I've seen so far. So going into this game blind.
All right. Well, I'll start it off with a nice little headline here. Ski jumping rocked by penis gate claims athletes manipulated genitals for aerodynamic edge.
It sounds so weird that I feel like that's true.
It is true. So 2 Norwegian ski jumping coaches and the team suit technician were suspended for 18 months by the International Ski and Snowboard Federation for allegedly manipulating suits during the World Championship last year. And apparently it's rocking the Olympics now too.
That the people are manipulating their bodysuits to make them more aerodynamic, or what's the issue?
Yeah, so I'm not sure how this works. If you would want to wear like I don't know the correct term, but you want to hide your penis to make it a smaller suit?
Genitals would be the
genitals.
The way you can explain that without having to sound like a middle schooler saying penis.
I feel like there's like a guard you can wear that people wear when they transition to the maybe that's what it is, or if they're making it larger to get more suit. I'm not sure which would be better for the ski.
Like a jock strap?
Well, you could wear like a jock strap or a cup if you want to make the suit bigger, or do you want to go smaller and hide your genitals?
Dude, I don't know. I would assume you would want it to be less of a bulge down there, so that there's the air doesn't hit it. But pretty wild way to start the show.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's got to be there hiding.
Yeah, I would assume because you want it to just be flat, right? So the air there's nothing blocking the air.
Yeah, I guess if it's too big, it would work as like a wing type thing, or like a parachute, and you don't want that.
Yeah, the wind would be hit it and counteract your speed, I guess. But pretty wild stuff.
Yeah, well, can't say I'm too versed in ski jumping, so we'll go over to a sport that I am a little more versed in as well as you, the hockey rink. Yeah, hockey rink. U.S. hockey beat the ever-living shit out of Canada 5-0. True or false?
So that is true because I saw it on the bottom of the screen. So I guess I lied about my only Olympic knowledge. But yeah, first time I think ever Canada's been shut out on hockey. So they claim hockey as their sport, and I think it was the women's. The men started today, and I think the U.S. plays tomorrow or today as everybody's watching this. So yeah, U.S. woman kicked the shit out of Canada.
And they not only kicked the shit out of Canada, they kicked the shit out of everybody. They're 4-0, and their goal differential is 20-1 in the preliminary round.
They're rolling right now. I mean, that should be a lock for the gold medal. If you ask me, I mean, there's if they're beating Canada 5-0, just give the U.S. woman the gold medal now.
I think they also injured one of Canada's best players, which you hate to see that, but
was she making up 5 goals?
No,
I don't.
I think it was late in the game. Maybe a little fake injury action, little Sam Darnold oblique. Yep. They do play Italy in the quarters, which I have to talk to whoever made that draw because it feels sacrilegious to have the team that's 20-1 in the prelims go against the host country.
What was your question?
I mean, they play the host country in the first round of the knockout stage. I feel like that shouldn't happen if you have a 20-1 goal differential in the round robin, unless Italy's that bad, but they're still the host country.
Yeah, Italy, I think, is that bad.
All right, well.
But I think the U.S. is just that good, though, when it comes to hockey. Canada should be at that level. Maybe they care more about, I don't know, what other winter sport is Canada amazing at? Or is the women's ski or figure skating team?
Well, we can go right into my next true or false. Canada has 1 gold medal in these Olympics.
Yeah, I mean, they're supposed to be the winter tundra country. This is supposed to be their games, and it sounds like it's not. I know the Olympics don't.
That is false. They have 0 gold medals in these Winter Olympics.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, maybe they have some medals, but it's all about the gold, baby, and they got nothing.
They have 3 total. That's 13th on the leaderboard among all. China has more gold medals than.
Yeah, it's a tough look for a nation that doesn't have much of a claim to fame. They will put out a pretty awesome product for the men's hockey team. Expect them to at least medal there. Definitely going to be a battle, though. U.S. Canada for the gold. Very excited. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's a real shame Russia is going at war with seemingly everybody because it would be fun to watch them compete. Maybe have OV one last chance for a gold medal. But I mean, the 4 Nations was pretty electric. What was that, last year?
Yeah.
So I mean, if we get any of that in the Olympics, it'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, and Russia would have an awesome team. I'm not going to go through pronouncing the guys' names that are in the NHL, but their team would be right up there with the U.S. and Canada, I think, at least competitive. And, if Canada and the U.S. are the 2 best, Russia easily would be the 3rd.
Yeah, well, I guess if you're looking at it from you want the U.S. to win, it's good news, but I kind of just want good hockey. I want the U.S. to win too, but.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. It would be more fun. It's more fun when Russia's in it. Creates more of that rivalry, that Cold War rivalry.
Yeah, and we're going back to the moon, by the way. We could get Russia to go back to the moon. We could reignite the Cold War. It's probably not a great thing, but for sports, at least it'd be fun.
Yeah, it'd be fun in the sports world. We could just leave it at that.
All right. Next headline. A dude cried after winning a gold because he cheated on his girlfriend.
Again, so oddly specific that it feels like it's got to be true.
It is true. The guy's name, who I'm going to butcher, Strula Holm Legreid from Norway. It wasn't a gold. He won a medal. He won a bronze medal in the biathlon. They interviewed him after, and he said he can't enjoy the moment because 3 months ago he made the worst mistake of his life by cheating on his girlfriend.
He admitted that?
Yep.
That's wild.
He said he can't enjoy this because he feels like his girlfriend should have been there. And they met
Is that
6 months prior.
Is that his plea to reignite the relationship and give it a go? I don't know, but I mean, he's the one who cheated, and he's crying over her after winning a medal. I mean, come on, bro. I'm sure you could probably. I don't know.
I want to feel bad for him too, but he's got to be some kind of psychopath. So he said he met her 6 months ago. He cheated on her 3 months ago. So they were together for 3 months before he cheated. But during those 3 months, he was probably rigorously training for the Olympics. So how much could he have really seen her in those 3 months to where he was the love of his life?
I don't know. And he either wasn't training that hard, maybe
he won a medal
since he placed. I don't know.
Yeah, just one of those stories that, like you said, is too ridiculous to
Who?
believe.
Where was the country?
He's from Norway, who is in the lead in medals.
And it kind of checks out. Norway's they got
A lot of
mountains and
snow.
it's always cold up there. But I don't know. Aren't Norway people are supposed to be like not cheating on their girlfriends? Doesn't strike me as a country where that's what goes on there.
I feel like they're very often on that list of like nicest countries in the world,
Right? Nice. I don't know.
happiest people.
Yeah, yeah. Seems like a very odd story for Norway. Like if it was the US, totally.
Checks out.
Totally checks out.
It is very strange. I'm interested now. If we just look up happiest countries in the world, Norway's got to be at least like top 5.
I would definitely put them in the top 5. And I don't know what metric they use to judge that.
All right, here we go.
Like people, countries that aren't committing suicide. Like, is that how you measure that? I have no idea.
I guess. Okay, so Norway's number 8. Finland is number 1. Shout out Lori Markkinen. Iceland at 2. Denmark at 3. Yeah, they're always nice to each other. Switzerland, being the neutral assholes they are, they're 4. Netherlands at 5. Sweden at 6. I feel like that's a little low for Sweden. Germany at 7. And then Norway checks in at 8. US ahead of the UK.
Kind of checks out. British are always angry.
Yeah, they're very angry about that clip of Noah Lyles is getting circulated now. The world champions of what? And it's so funny how many Brits get frustrated at that.
Yeah, I mean that doesn't shock me too much.
Super Bowl, the Seahawks tweeted out world champions and people were pissed. It's like, okay, now you field the football team and try to beat the Seahawks.
Well, they play 9 international games now, and they touch this upcoming year. They will touch pretty much all parts of the world. What they go Europe, they're hitting Australia, they're down to South America.
Yeah, it's got to be every continent except Antarctica, right?
That's a global game.
Play the game in Antarctica. I mean,
well, they
50 years from now?
They don't play soccer in Antarctica, so I don't think that needs to be checked off.
Maybe not.
But if they do, they're beating soccer, so who knows? Stupid argument.
It's very dumb, and that's maybe that's why Brits are so mad. I'm happy with us. 14, that doesn't feel as low as it should be.
There's a lot of countries in the world.
A lot of angry countries, apparently. All right. Last headline for you. Chloe Kim is only 25 years old.
Was she the one who went to Auburn, or is that the gymnast?
No, that's Suni Lee.
Oh, sorry. Does that make me racist? I don't know. But I don't know. False. She's younger.
Yeah, she is 25. I thought she was older because she's been around for a long time. Also, Myles Garrett is dating Chloe Kim.
What?
Yeah. We might have to redo our draft of our 400 of most athletic babies because that would be a hell of a athlete.
That would be. And I think
also a cute baby.
I think most of a lot of the athletes or a lot of the couples that we had on the 400, I think some of them or most of them are broken up now.
Most likely.
I
The
don't know.
Ertzes were in there. They're still going strong.
Yeah, I think I had Kelsey Plum and Darren Waller, and they for sure not together anymore.
Yeah, definitely not after the second diss track.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe throwing couples on our 4 and 400s doesn't do them well.
Maybe not. That's got to be the first. Now, there's definitely other Olympic. Well, maybe Myles Garrett doesn't play in the flag football in 2 years.
Nah. Are they letting NFL players play?
Yeah, they'll let them play. I think the whole thing is they're going to have them. They're still going to let the flag football national team try to represent the U.S., but it's going to be NFL guys.
I don't know how it isn't. I mean, I know the flag football guys were pissed.
Yeah, what was that quarterback's name? He was
The
not.
quarterback was pissed.
USA.
Pissed.
Yeah, he's like 5'7".
I don't know why.
Darrell Doucette.
Yeah, he was mad.
Probably still is mad. I'm sure he's still doing press tours. No, that'll be all. I'm sure they'll let like 3 guys. Honestly, Doucette will probably be like the third string quarterback, and they'll let 2 other guys from the team play.
I know it's a bit away, but what does the starting roster look like? I mean, you get like 2 wide receivers, a running back, a quarterback. Is it just like 7-on-7?
I believe it's 7-on-7 because you have a center, quarterback. Could be 5-on-5.
Can you rush? Is it like
I think you get one rush.
Five Mississippi blitz? Like, are we that backyard schoolyard with it?
No, so I think you get 2 sets of downs. You get first in the field, and then once you get goal to go, it's first and goal. And I think you get 1 rush for those set of downs. So you get to rush twice.
You get to rush twice, but it can't be in the same sequence of downs.
Yes, I believe. That could be completely wrong, but I think that's right.
Seems like it would be right. Do they shorten the field length and width wise? I would think so.
Yes. I think God.
There's no way the width is as wide as it is if it's only 5-on-5.
Okay, so it is 5-on-5 or 7-on-7. That's not it. But I think regulation is 5-on-5. And it's 4 downs to cross midfield, and then you get another 4 downs to score a touchdown. A 7-second quarterback passing limit. All players are eligible receivers. But where is the blitzing rules?
Okay, no, I kind of like that. That is your blitz. You know, the quarterback can't sit back there for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Or 45 seconds or whatever. He has 7 seconds to throw. If it takes longer than 7 seconds, you're sacked.
Okay, so I guess you can always blitz. You just have to start 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Really?
But yeah, according to Google. So 5-on-5. So you have a center who is a wide receiver. They just have to throw the ball behind them. It's not a real snap. Quarterback, and then 3 wide receiver athletes, but they could be running backs. So I think you have Lamar as your quarterback 1. You go Jaden Daniels as QB2. Jahmyr Gibbs has got to be on the roster.
Jamar Chase and Jettas?
Yeah, that's your starting 5.
I don't know. I don't know how, plus the NFL guys have to commit to doing it too, right?
Yeah, and that's where you might get the Lamar and Jaden Daniels of the world not being able to play.
Yeah, I mean, Jaden Daniels, I feel like, is going to be heavily advised by the Washington Commander organization to not play.
Maybe we get a Malik Willis after he gets the bag from the Jets and leads them to the playoffs with 8 wins.
Yeah, like, do we get some guys who, for NFL standards, were like, this guy stinks, but in flag football, they're awesome? Which, by the way, Malik Willis, kind of was gassed when he played this year.
Yeah, I feel like at least for offense, you got to get the best wide receivers and best running backs in the game. Like Jahmyr Gibbs has to be a lock. The 2 LSU guys have to be a lock. But then for like defense, if you grab the best gunners, like if Matthew Slater still played, I feel like he'd be a crazy flag football cornerback.
I feel like you could throw like Rashid Shaheed at corner and like they're winning gold.
Oh, Cooper DeJean's definitely going to be on the roster.
Yeah,
That feels like a lock. Honestly,
like
throw Quignon in there too.
I'm not super excited to see Eagles out there with sevens. To be completely honest.
Okay, then we'll just give him Cooper DeJean. You could keep Quignon at home watching.
Yeah, I'd rather keep our all-pro corner at home resting up for the upcoming season.
But like Jabril Peppers, who isn't like a star in the league, but I feel like he'd be great at flag football.
You could throw anybody. Or I could, how funny would it be if they went Cooper DeJean and then there's another white corner on the Broncos who was pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
I forget his name. I think he was like number 21. He wears the long sleeves.
Yeah, I can picture him.
You know what I'm talking about?
I'm looking it up. Riley Moss.
Yes. So like him and Cooper DeJean and then throw Reed Blankenship in there. That's an all white.
I don't know if we want Reed Blankenship back there.
He'd be fine going up against the other Olympic countries.
Yeah, maybe you do keep a couple defensive spots for the guys that actually play flag football, because I feel like there's an art to actually grabbing the flag instead of just tackling. At least, like on offense, like take the NFL guys. But if you want to throw some spots to these flag football guys, the guys that are really good on defense.
Here's what they'll do. They'll throw in the spots, and I don't know how the scoring and the timing and the quarters and all that will go. But when the NFL guys are up 48-0, then you let the NFL, the professional flag players get out there.
Or you make it even funnier and let the professional flag guys struggle to manage like a 14-14 game. And then fourth quarter, you're like, all right, let's bring the NFL guys on. They win the fourth quarter 35-0.
That'd be more entertaining, I think.
Keep it interesting.
I don't know if the United States Flag Association, or is it Flag Football Association, whatever it is, I don't know that they would want, that'd be a embarrassment of their product.
They're getting it as an Olympic sport. I think you take the win when you can. Whatever happens after that.
Hope for the best.
Hope for the best. All right. Well, any other Olympic headlines you want to talk about before we get into winners and losers here?
No, none for me. I mean, there hasn't. Clearly, there's been headlines, but none that have caught my eye too much. So I've been a little bit out of tune on the Olympics, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I do apologize to Canada. They now have 4 total medals. So I put them on short there, but a quick, and I'm sure this will change by the time people are listening to this, but Norway in first with 13 total, 7 gold. And then in a tie for second with 4 gold, U.S., Italy, and Switzerland. Italy has 13 total, U.S. has 12 total. So those are your top 3 right now.
My whole thing with the Olympics, especially like this particular Olympics, is I'm not watching anything live. Like nothing's live. And I don't know when's the coverage live? And I can never tell if it's live or reruns. And they give us prime time at the Olympics with NBC and Mike Tirico at 8:00 at night. But 8:00 at night in Italy is 6 hours or 7 hours ahead. So for me, I can't get into it for that reason.
Yeah, that's fair. I think the prime time slot for Italy is like 3:00 Eastern, which isn't great.
Isn't great. We're all at work. And then they try to do prime time at the Olympics where it's Tirico live and they're doing the guys at the desk and they're all analyzing, but then it's all reruns, no?
Yeah. And before the age of everything's on Twitter, right when it happens, that worked.
Right.
But
right.
now
Nobody
you see everything.
But now it's you get the crazy updates, you get all the headlines. So for me, like, I don't know. It's just I can't get into it, man. I can't get into like watching reruns.
It's fair. Well, we get to do this whole other annoying when it's in LA and we have to watch men's basketball tip off at 11:30 at night.
When today?
No, in 2028 when the Summer Olympics are in LA and more of the events we care about are happening at 11:30 at night on the Eastern time zone.
No, I get it, but at least like I'll be able to make a free will decision of like, all right, my day at work tomorrow is going to suck, but at least I'm not at work while it's live.
Yeah, all right, that's true.
Like, okay, I'll stay up till 11:30. The Olympic Games are also pretty quick. They get in and out of there in like an hour.
It's like 2.
Maybe two, but they're quicker. They are quicker.
Yeah, they quarter to 10 instead of 12.
They go quick. So, at least I have that. Like at work, I'm like, all right, I'm at work. I can't really like sit there and grind out a whatever I want to watch Olympics wise. But we'll see what happens.
I hope we get the gold zone in prime time with Scott Hansen in 28 because it's not the same when it's at like 2:00 in the afternoon. They also had a producer hot mic the other day and it was just not a good product. Which
does NBC get 2028?
They should, I believe.
Do they get all the Olympics?
I think there's been a couple they haven't for some reason, but they should get 2028. 2028 broadcast. It will be NBC.
Yeah, it feels like they get them. They get them all. I can't picture like Fox or CBS doing an Olympics.
CBS would, God, that would be boring. It's already boring enough. NBC gets them through 2032, and then I'm sure they'll strike another deal.
Yeah, that makes sense. NBC feels right. I think Fox has the entire World Cup, which is pretty big for them.
Yeah, they've been I'm surprised they outbid CBS for that because Paramount has like all the leagues now.
Yeah, Fox, I'm pretty sure has the entire thing.
Which, they get Joe Davis and Kevin Burkhardt calling soccer.
I don't know. No, they have their like A, B, and probably C crew. I know for sure they have an A crew for soccer. It's like is it Taylor Townsend, and somebody else?
Yeah.
So they have a few more crews like that. The British guy I think is on there. So like they have a couple of soccer crews, but I don't know. There's a lot of soccer games in the AML. So I don't know if they'll reach into the Burkhardt bag, but it would be kind of funny. Cool to see Tom Brady up there calling like that.
You get Burkhardt and Tom Brady calling Ghana versus Switzerland or something.
Yeah, you get yeah, so anyway, we got chopped up there. Verizon, you guys got to figure it out, man. But
honorary loser of the week.
Yeah, honorary loser of the week, Verizon Wi-Fi after the bug or crash from 2 to 3 weeks ago. But no, Burkhardt and Brady calling the World Cup final at JetLife. That'd be a sight to see.
Sam Darnold on the sidelines.
Yeah, I mean, it won't happen. They, like I said, they have their crews for calling soccer and stuff. So I think they'll be A-okay, but big ups to Fox for getting the World Cup.
Yep, nothing like talking about Winter Olympics and talking about anything other than Winter Olympics. Let's get into some winners and losers.
Let's do it.
All right, we'll start with your winner of the week.
Yeah, so I was looking through trying to pick out a decent one, and have to go. We all love our fathers, so I gave a shout out to the dads because Rick Pitino defeated his son Richard Pitino on Monday night. St. John's beat Xavier 87-82 in overtime at Madison Square Garden. Valiant effort by Richard, but Rick just a little bit better, man. So shout out winner of the week are the dads.
Yeah, I believe that's the first time, at least since Richard has been at New Mexico, that he's actually covered the spread against his dad. because I kept falling into that trap of being like, I think it's going to be a close game. And of course I didn't bet it, and he almost pulled off the outright upset.
I mean, to be fair, Xavier had a lot of opportunity to win that game. They were leading for most of it, in control, tie game down the stretch. I mean, I'm not going to say they should have won that game, but they had every opportunity to win that game. I'll leave it at that. But I don't know. You might have to look up Rick Pitino's record versus his kid. Obviously, I want to say, I thought it said Rick was 4-1 against his son. I thought maybe his son won one game, but I could be wrong. He could have not won any.
Maybe he did pull one out against.
I'm not sure though. I know they had it up on the screen Monday night. It just, a few nights ago. I forget exactly what the stats were, but
So he's 5-1, and he's 5-1. The one was when Rick was at Iona.
And where was his kid?
New Mexico.
Oh, okay.
And that was 2022. So that was a New Mexico tournament team. I believe that would have been Donovan Dent's freshman year. So they did a good squad.
Yeah, they did have a good squad. So
was 22. Was that the year they almost beat UConn? When did UConn won in 23 and 24, right?
I'm not sure, dude. COVID kind of screwed up my early 2020s on sports years.
Yeah, this must have been the year before Iona gave UConn a scare in the first round. But no, I mean, I like Richard as a coach. Xavier doesn't have the talent yet. I really thought he was going to get Dent to come over, but
it's his first year, and they don't have really a great team, and they went wire to wire with St. John's on the road at the Garden. So valiant effort, but still got to give the winner to the dads here.
Yes, St. John's team that just knocked off UConn for UConn's first loss in a long time. I believe they're tied at the top of the Big East, and they'll have a game coming up here on a Wednesday night that will just basically decide the Big East.
Yeah, they're either tied or UConn has a 1-game lead. And look, Villanova's still hanging around, man. Nobody thought they were going to be this good under Willard in year one, and I think still have to play UConn. I think they got a game against St. John's. So, Big East isn't wrapped up just yet.
Yeah, St. John's and UConn both 12-1. Nova 10-3, and St. John's and UConn, one of them is guaranteed another loss because they got to play each other. So if Nova can knock them both off,
look at Nova's schedule. I think Nova has to play both of them too.
Then there's a path.
So you said what? They both only have one loss.
Yeah, they're both 12-1 in the Big East.
Kind of hope St. John's had 2 losses, so that way St. John's could beat UConn, then Nova could beat UConn and St. John's, and they'd all have 3 losses.
Yeah, well, they both get – so UConn plays Connecticut at home, and then they play St. John's on the road. So I think your best path here is they knock off UConn. UConn beats St. John's in the rematch, and then you knock off St. John's.
Is that the path?
I think that's the path.
There's something there. And it's a shame, too, because Nova lost, I think, on the road to UConn in overtime. Which, if they could have pulled that game off, would have been special.
Still got to, I guess you got to go to Xavier, but that'll be fine. Nova will beat Butler. They'll win in DePaul. They'll win at home against Xavier. So, path is there.
Yeah, I'd say that's who do they play one of UConn or St. John's before that Xavier game?
They play Creighton at Creighton, then Xavier at Xavier, and then UConn. So they play UConn and they get Butler, and then they go to St. John's.
Yeah,
so that Butler game could even be scary if they beat UConn and look ahead to St. John's and they.
Yeah, just I don't know. They're notorious. They'll beat someone they shouldn't, and then lose to DePaul on the road.
I mean, honestly, I might be more keen on Villanova's chances to win the Big East regular season than I am on Auburn's chances to make the NCAA tournament at this point.
Why
If
are
that
they on the outside looking in at this point?
they're still in, but they lost again to Vanderbilt at home, and if they lose a couple more here, it's going to get real ugly.
Yeah, that was a tough loss. What was that, last night or 2 nights ago?
Yeah, 2 nights ago as they're listening to this.
Yeah, it's not a. I mean, Vanderbilt's good, but that'd be a nice win for Auburn to kind of just keep on track. But I mean, we said Auburn was gonna struggle this year.
I didn't think it'd be this bad. I was hoping they'd at least coast to a 6, 7, 8 seed. Instead, they're going to be fighting for a 9, 10, it looks like.
Now they could be playing on the first night of the tournament as an 11 seed in a play-in.
Yeah, losing to New Mexico at halftime.
Is that like where they are right now?
No, they're still comfortably in 9. I think I had them at an 8 in our bracketology just for the bias sake. But another loss, they dropped to 10. Another loss after that. That's the bubble.
Yeah.
Doesn't help TCU just knocked off Iowa State either. The bubble's getting more cloudy by the day.
Yeah, TCU's not good. I don't
They
care.
have
If they beat
opportunity
Iowa State.
now.
I don't care if they beat Iowa State. They're not good.
All
Auburn's
right.
a better team. What do you got for us here, Bry?
I will go to the professional hardwood, where my winner of the week is going to be throwing hands. The Pistons and the Hornets just had a fight of the season, probably. We have Isaiah Stewart, who was always involved in every NBA fight. Got suspended 8 games, lose $170K for those 8 games suspended. Miles Bridges suspended 4 games, as well as Musa Diabate. Miles Bridges said Jalen Duren putting a hand in Diabate's face was the most disrespectful thing he can do. That's coming from a guy that beat the mother of his child.
Yeah, I don't know if Miles Bridges is the guy that needs to be there justifying or being the gatekeeper or being the disciplinarian on right and wrong. But, he stood up for his guy, I guess. But, yeah, back to Isaiah Stewart. That guy was on the bench in a warm-up, and he was at midcourt, like, hands up, ready to go. So, that's a guy I want to roll to the bar with every night because I know he's got your back if he's in your group.
Dude, there was that viral clip of him like a couple years ago. He tried to fight LeBron, and the whole Pistons team was holding him back.
It doesn't matter who it is.
I think he got ejected on his bobblehead night, I want to say.
That guy's fearless. He'll fight anybody. Win or lose. He doesn't care. He'll take on 10, 1 on 10, 1 on 1. It doesn't matter.
It's
Isaiah
amazing.
Stewart's unbelievable.
I guess he is good enough at basketball where he's still in the league, but like it just feels like that man can't be worth getting suspended every year. You know what's going to happen.
Is he the Draymond Green of the 2020s?
Yeah, but he's not nearly as good as Draymond Green's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I'm just talking in terms of antics.
I guess, yeah.
Same kind of role, same kind of player, just Isaiah Stewart not as effective.
No, because Draymond was like the point forward type role.
That's true.
Isaiah Stewart's like a Rodman.
Yeah, he's just like rebounding specialist.
Occasionally, we've got a couple blocks.
Yeah, not really too much offensive game. Which like Draymond, I mean, pretty ugly jump shot and like.
I think we just had the 4-year anniversary of Draymond getting a triple-double without points. Which shows you the kind of player Draymond was.
Right. So I guess if you want to compare offensive games, maybe some similarities there. But no, you're right. And even antics, I think Draymond was a little more cheap shot-esque, where I think Isaiah Stewart just wants to straight up fight people. I don't know that he was really a cheap shot guy. Like Draymond was always, sticking an elbow out, sticking a leg out.
Yeah, Draymond leaned toward the Grayson Allen school of thought, where Isaiah Stewart's just Rasheed Wallace. He's just gonna go at you and punch you.
Doesn't care. He's just ready to fight. Which, look, maybe that's why the Pistons are keeping him around. He's on the Pistons, right? Yeah, it was Pistons Hornets.
Yeah, which is a miracle because like you would think this guy maybe stays around as like an enforcer, but he's been on the same team.
Maybe that's his role, dude.
Guess so. Got to protect Cade Cunningham.
Maybe. I don't know.
All right. What's your loser of the week?
Yeah, so loser of the week, I actually will stay on the professional hardwood here. The team, the organization, and potentially a player here too. I went with the Los Angeles Clippers. And then I also highlighted Kawhi Leonard. Just everything with the trade deadline, right? They moved on from James Harden. They sent Zubac out, whatever the hell the guy's name is.
I think
Well,
is there a little conscious hate towards Zubac?
no, I'm just
Zubac.
sorry. Either way, they sent them both out of there. Kawhi Leonard's kind of playing like an MVP right now. There was some stat out there, dude. They were like 22-5 in their last however many games. So just like, I don't know. They turned it around, 22-5 or whatever they were. They had Harden playing well. Kawhi Leonard's playing at the best level that we've seen, I think. And you go and you just sell everybody at the deadline. You keep Kawhi around. What's the direction there? So for me, loser Kawhi, because they were catching their second wind of the season and could have made a push, and they were just like, we're gonna sell.
Yeah, that the whole James Harden trade didn't really make much sense to me.
It came out of nowhere too.
Came out of nowhere, and like if you're the Cavs, your issue is you don't win in the playoffs, and then you're trading for the guy that's a meme because of his playoff choking. And then the Clippers, you're just trading for a worse James Harden and Darius Garland.
Right, who I don't even know. Is he going to play the rest of the year? I mean, he's injured.
He might not. And I mean, I guess you're getting younger, which could be a direction, but
you still have Kawhi.
Yeah.
Who's playing at an MVP level. Or maybe not MVP level, but like the best level we've seen in the last however many years. It just doesn't make sense.
No.
And they started out really bad, but you'd have to look up the stat. I don't know exactly what it is, but I swear they were like 20-3, like right before the deadline. They were on a heater.
I think the unfortunate reality with what we're seeing in the NBA is Adam Silver thought we were going to get more parity with this second apron rule, which may in the long term work. But what we're really seeing is the Thunder are the Thunder, and everyone just expects them to win again. So now you have half the league tanking and the other half of the league desperate to try to find a direction. And Jason Tatum somehow on whatever drugs Aaron Rodgers had coming back from his Achilles, where he's trying to come back and try to unseat the Thunder. But I don't know. These commissioners have just found ways to ruin leagues.
So you think this is an Adam Silver issue?
I think this is the NBA saying we might as well tank in this really good draft class if the Thunder are just that good and we can't get better because we can't re-sign our guys to big deals because of the second apron.
I guess. I don't know. I don't get it.
I mean, in a way, like the Wizards have been made fun of for years because of their tanking, but at least they're kind of going for it. At least next year now, they're going to tank another year, and then they got Trae Young and Anthony Davis.
Alex Sarr.
Yeah, you get Trae Young, Anthony Davis, and then maybe AJ DeBant's done there. Alex Sarr.
Yeah, Alex
Trey
Sarr's
Johnson.
there. It'd be nice if they still had Denny Avdia, who's
be really nice.
I think an all-star starter now.
Yeah. He's averaging like 25.
25 and 8.
That was a real fumble by them. Did they even trade him? What? No, they must trade him for like a second-round pick.
I don't know how they lost him, but he's literally, I think he's an all-star starter for they have a new format for the all-star game, right? It's the Stars team, the Stripes team, and then the World team.
I didn't even see that. That had just become.
Oh yeah! Wait till you see how the NBA All-Star game.
Maybe that's next week. We'll have to do an NBA All-Star and NBA season preview.
I could be wrong, but I think there's the Stars team, the Stripes team, which is like all the USA guys split up into two teams, Stars and Stripes, and then they have the World team. which the world team's pretty nasty. It's like Luka, Giannis. I think Denny Avdia's in there. Jokic, which would be wild if Giannis plays when he hasn't
played all year.
Hasn't played.
Yeah, you could throw Alex Sarr in there too eventually. The world team might be better before.
The world team's nasty, dude. Like you'd have to look at the roster. I know it's Luka, Giannis, Jokic. I don't know. Denny Avdia, who's just all world out of nowhere now. Oh, Wemby.
Oh, yeah. How can we forget Wemby? Yeah, that's pretty disgusting.
Like, that team's nasty.
Cat. Oh, Dominican. He's Dominican.
Cat, I thought was Canadian. Oh, SGA?
Oh, SGA, Şengün. Yeah.
Like, dude, that team's nuts.
Siakam. Jamal Murray's Canadian. Jamal Murray, first-time All-Star, by the way. I was surprised by that.
Yeah, it's pretty surprising.
But again, when NBA teams call themselves world champions, that's why, because all the best international players play in the NBA. And I love the EuroLeague. I'm a huge fan of the EuroLeague. It's not as good. My losers of the week will be Punxsutawney Phil and winter. Because guess what? It's spring. Spring training has started. Pitchers and catchers are here. And the New York Mets' second best player is going to be out likely past opening day.
Yeah, I saw Lindor already some injury stuff.
Yeah, he has this whatever. I guess Achilles injuries are no longer the trend now. At least in baseball, it's the hamate bone. It's a small hook-shaped bone on the palm, and apparently it takes you like 3 to 4 months to get your power back.
I mean, Brian, opening day is next month.
Yeah, and I guess he's going to be fine for opening day. That's David Stern said the word optimistic about 15 times when asked about Lindor's status for opening day. But like, if he can't hit for power,
that should lead you to believe that there's not a lot of optimism.
Yeah, it scares me.
If he's beating the word optimism to death.
We're going to see Ronnie Mauricio at shortstop for the first month and a half. Because they won't play Bo Bichette there, which I'm fine with. They got to play him at third, but it's supposed to be a happy time. Baseball's back. Pitchers and catchers are reporting. We already have Keith McPherson and all the Yankee talking heads making fun of Luke Weaver for showing up with a Yankees bag at Mets camp. The one baseball bag he has. Yeah, but like it's the bag he has. Do you think he has a Mets bag? He doesn't get his Mets stuff till he arrives to camp.
I don't know. You can't go to Dick's Sporting Goods and get like a neutral bag. Just a blank.
But like I don't know. He's not making millions, or he's making millions of dollars, but he's a relief pitcher. Let him save his money. Bring your old bag. I could care less about what bag he shows up to at camp.
Yeah, I mean, it's two different leagues, but I get it. The rivalry is there. But it would. I don't know. I wouldn't love to see that.
I really didn't care. I mean, I'm sure Pete Alonso showed up to Orioles camp, and I get it. They're not rivals, but I'm sure he showed up with a Mets bag, and he's still wearing like Mets shit. They're both orange colored. Probably wears his Mets belt and Mets cleats every day.
They don't. I shouldn't say they don't care in Baltimore because I know they do. But like, do they really give a shit?
Yeah, I get it's just getting clicks with these stupid ass arguments. But I could care less about Luke Weaver's bag, and I'm sure there are fans that I think it's more Yankees fans who are making fun of him. I don't think Mets fans cares at all.
They're always going to poke Banner. I think the Yankee fans aren't over Juan Soto, and they probably won't be for a while.
Playing left field now, by the way. Just interesting.
That's very interesting.
Apparently, he's going to play left in the WBC. So Mendoza just like, yeah, you can stay over there.
Who's he? He's Dominican, right?
Yeah, so Tatis will play right.
Same with Lindor was Dominican.
Puerto Rican, but he wouldn't be playing anyway. No, and there was also some headline that turned out to be false that Bad Bunny was going to insure the contracts of Lindor and Carlos Correa so they could play in the WBC.
That's just not happening.
It would have
I did find that out earlier this week though, that there's like insurance policies put on these players, which is why, and again, it could have been a Michael of the week, I think, is why Mike Trout is not playing because nobody wanted to insure the guy.
Nope. And that's
which I don't blame him. I don't blame him. I mean, the guy's always injured, but I mean, Mike Trout World Baseball Classic, I mean, it just goes hand in hand.
And now we don't get Corbin Carroll because he also has a helmet bone injury. So we can really use Mike Trout in the outfield.
Yeah, but Mike Trout's not even injured. They just nobody wants to
No one wants
insure
to
him.
insure him.
That's what's going on there. Yeah, like all these other guys are at least injured. Which, whatever. Well,
When does the WBC start? It's got to be soon, right?
Well, we're still early-ish February here. So I would say beginning of March, though.
Yeah, I know the Rockies play Team USA in spring training. That game might end 60-0.
Why is that who they have? Oh, because nobody on the Rockies is on any team.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a bunch of exhibition games. Like I want to say the Mets play Venezuela. The first World Baseball Classic is March 4th. Chinese Taipei, just call them Taiwan already, taking on Australia in the Tokyo Dome.
Where are all the games? Are there just international venues all over the place?
Yeah, it looks like the first round will be Tokyo Dome, San Juan, Miami, and Houston.
San Juan?
Yeah, there's
where
a game.
Where the hell are they playing in Puerto Rico?
Hiram Bihorn Stadium, San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Interesting.
And Colombia is the home team against Puerto Rico.
Also interesting.
There's got to be, I think the venues change for like the final, right?
The final's always like in Miami.
Yeah, the quarterfinal will be Miami and Houston. Semifinal, Miami. Final, Miami.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
Yeah, I guess you get the.
Which makes sense. You might, you get the World Baseball Classic, what, every 2 years?
I think it's supposed to be 4, but COVID messed it up.
Is
So now
it?
it's
I was going to say, because we had it 2 years ago with the
Yeah.
Ohtani striking out Trout, right?
Yeah, and I think that was supposed to be 2020.
Oh. Well, either way, make it every 2 and let the Marlins Stadium sell out. Like, they need it.
Okay, yeah, so it was supposed to be 2021, but it was delayed to 23. So it's every 4 years.
So they're just getting back on track.
So it'll be
timing.
2030 next, yeah.
Damn, every 2 years is more fun. Make it like the Ryder Cup.
Yeah, that would be more fun. Although I don't mind having Juan Soto play one less World Baseball Classic for the duration of that contract.
I guess. But it is what it is.
How do you feel about Zach Wheeler's keeping his rib as a trophy?
In a time of gimmicks, an era of gimmicks, I think it's fantastic that they have something they can rally around, which is Zach Wheeler's rib, whether they do or not. But no, I mean, look, the reports were positive, right? I mean, he's already playing catch. He's throwing at about 90 feet. For people who don't know, you want to see these pitchers, I think is about 120 feet when they play long catch or whatever. So need to get him out to about 120, but he's already at 90. And they just, pitchers and catchers reported today. Or yesterday, this week. So he's already at 90 feet. He's already played catch. And look, he's got to get to 120. He's not thrown off a mound yet, but they're optimistic. And again, I know optimistic's the word of the day here, but they are cautiously optimistic. At least I am. He might not be ready for opening day, but he shouldn't be. It shouldn't be too far after. And look, if he's ready to go by mid-April and they want to keep him out until May, I'm perfectly fine with that. No need to rush him back. No need to force something, even if he's ready to go. Like mid-April, he's ready to go. Want to bring him back for his first start in May. It's a little bit warmer. I'm all for it. So sounds like things are trending in the right direction. Rehab's going well. He had good surgery. He's locked in. He's got a rib as a souvenir. Good vibes, man. Look, I'm slowly Look, Fangraphs, which is usually a pretty spot on prediction model, has the Phillies winning the NL East. So they think the Phillies will still be really good. As doom and gloom as the offseason was, it is a team that won 96 games last year. So as doom and gloom as it is, and yeah, sure, it sucks the Mets made moves and the Phillies didn't make the splash shiny moves that the Mets made. So it feels a lot worse. It's still a good ball club. Is it good enough to win the World Series? We'll wait and see. We know how this team performs in Red October, but it's going to be a good baseball team.
Yeah, I've been on record saying as much as I hate the Phillies, I like a lot of their players, which is really annoying to me. And I really like Zach Wheeler. I hope for his sake and for the sake of this stupid thoracic outlet syndrome dooming a pitcher's career, he can kind of go against the grain and show that pitchers can come back from this. So the next time it happens, we don't think someone's career is over.
Yeah, and obviously when it happened late September, I mean, right before the playoffs, everyone was like, this guy's done. So a lot of positive reports coming out. And you don't have to be mad at the Phillies. Be mad at the Mets for not re-signing the guy.
Yeah, it's tough. It's just so tough because if Steve Cohen was there, he's probably a Met for life.
Brian, it was $20 million a year. Like, it wasn't even a crazy contract, his first one. Now I know the extension he's making a hell of a lot more, but like that first contract, it was like $115 million over 5 years or 120 over 5 years.
The Wilpons, after when everyone was clamoring for them to sign Cespedes, which they eventually did, their quote was, how many teams have multiple $20 million guys on their payroll? They had one with David Wright. And they didn't want to give a second guy.
That's not a great contract or not a great quote.
No, that of many bad quotes from those two idiots.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, I mean, look, as we said, I know I've had my doom and gloom rants on the Phillies, but I'm slowly turning to cautiously optimistic. And the pitching staff should be good. I like the bullpen. It sounds like they're going to let the kids play, which I know you have PTSD from, at least from last year. But it sounds like they're going to let the kids play. And you can be excited about that.
Spring. You're supposed to be optimistic about your baseball team.
Right. So we'll see what happens, man. I'll adopt the quote this year. Let the kids play.
Love it. I'll pass it on to you. Hopefully it works out a little better. Although Noah McLean was great.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they brought him up too late.
Way too late. And I really, really, really hope he does not pitch an inning in the World Baseball Classic.
Stupid question. He's U.S., right?
Yep.
Yeah. It
would be fun for the U.S. It would be terrifying for me every single time he cocked his right arm back.
Oh, terrifying. No, they need. Is he Mets opening day starter?
No, it'll be Freddie now.
Oh, true. Forgot they got Peralta. Yeah,
before
he started opening days before too, so he's the right pick.
Yeah, Peralta versus Skeens should be a fun opening day game. I think it's on Peacock.
It's a great matchup. Take the under.
Yeah, Skeens is a known Mecca. He's
that under could be like 4.5. By the way,
it's probably going to be 5.5, just so they don't put it at 4. But it's going to be low, especially if Lindor doesn't play.
Right, and the bats are always cold. Like it'll be. Is it in New York or Pittsburgh? I mean, the weather's not going to be great.
I think it's New York. It's going to be like a 30-degree day in New York.
Yeah. That over-under is going to be 3.5.
God.
It's going to be 1-0 Pirates on a Brian Reynolds solo shot.
Off Craig Kimbrell in the 11th inning.
Well, I guess it'd be 2-0 then, but.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Shredding Ghost Runner.
Can't wait for baseball season. Oh, so many headaches.
So many headaches, but that's why we love it.
All right. Do you want to do? We did talk some college basketball. Do you want to do college or just call it?
I'm down to do a quick 5 minutes. I had some stuff here, and I can just go on a rant here because it is college basketball season. We haven't given a lot of thought and effort, at least on the pod. I know we're ramping up with bracketology, and we'll keep that coming everybody's way. But we want to talk about teams that can win it all this year. We don't want to start throwing Cinderellas out there until the bracket's actually set. I think it's better to maybe predict this on teams that can win it all. Picking Cinderellas and then the Cinderella's not even in the tournament, counterproductive. But these teams, more or less, they're going to be in. I think the two overwhelming favorites that everybody's going to have on their board that's going to dominate bracket pools for champions are Michigan and Arizona, right? Two most complete teams, balanced elite efficiency, dominant defense, especially for Michigan. For me, they're the two teams that are just the overwhelming favorites.
Yeah, I think Arizona, and I know they just lost to Kansas without.
It's a road conference game. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, without Darren Peterson's kind of. But they still have such a good schedule. I think they could lose out and still get a 1 seed just because of how many wins. Like they've beaten Texas Tech, they've beaten BYU, they've beaten Alabama, Florida, Auburn, UConn. Like there's so many good wins. They're so good. And they're young. Their two top scorers are freshmen, which is kind of why I might not pick them to win it. But they feel like it's got to be them in Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, Koa Pete, I know he's a freshman. He doesn't play like one. He's just fearless, goes after it, and just an all-around great player. I don't know where he's fallen on mock drafts, but they're saying Darren Peterson to go 1. AJ Dibansa, I know, was the number 1 player coming into this year. I don't know where he's fallen on mocks. Pretty exciting NBA draft coming up, though.
Yeah, that's why half the league's tanking. I want to say Pete's the 4th behind Boozer, Dibansa, and Darren. But there's a lot of good freshmen this year.
Yeah, which is awesome to see. It'll be nice to inject, the NBA with that, and hopefully, like you kind of alluded to earlier in the show, create a little bit more parity in the league.
I'm sorry. I'm looking through all these freshmen and one of the teams I really like this year, especially with the revenge arc, and of course, Michigan and Arizona are the top two. I think until either of them lose in March Madness, they should be considered the favorites. It's not a wide open tournament until they both lose.
Right.
But I really like Houston. They're younger this year, which of course could be a detriment, but I think that also means they're gonna let the shots chuck. And Flemings is just, I love that kid. Houston's problem is always they can't score. But with these young kids in the backcourt, they can score. And the Big 12 has been a gauntlet this year. If I had to bet, and I'm sure it's very juiced because Arizona's in the Big 12, but I think the champion of the NCAA tournament comes from the Big 12 this year.
It is a gauntlet conference. I agree. And I have I kind of so I had Michigan and Arizona as the top tier of overwhelming favorites. I have Duke, Houston, and UConn kind of in that. And I don't even want to – I feel like second tier degrades what these teams are. So I don't even want to call it second tier.
It's 1B.
Yeah, just right below the Goliaths. I have Arizona. And these teams, Duke, Houston, or UConn, they could beat Michigan or Arizona. That for sure could happen. But I put Duke, Houston, and UConn just below those two, just because I feel like there's a dominant edge that comes with Michigan and Arizona that is consistent. Duke, Houston, and UConn might have that edge on some nights, but I just don't know that it is as consistent as Michigan and Arizona's dominant edge, which is why I have Duke, Houston, and UConn right below those two other top teams. But yeah, I mean, you said it. Houston, does Duke, out of Duke, Houston, and UConn, who do you have, I guess, at the top would be number 3 if we have Michigan and Arizona as the 2 top?
Yeah, I think I go, and this might give some Duke fans PTSD, but Houston, Duke, and then UConn. UConn, they have 2 losses, but they beat Providence in overtime. They beat Seton Hall by 5, Georgetown by 2, Villanova in overtime, Providence again by 6. They're not this dominant team. I think they're doing what's needed to be done. I want to say they remind me of the Patriots, but they're obviously different sports, and UConn's more dominant than what the Patriots were.
Right.
But it's kind of like giving me Patriots vibes where they're just taking advantage of a bad Big East, and they're good, but I don't know. Like they lost to Arizona in the non-conference, and that was a close game. They beat BYU, but those games were forever ago. And they haven't looked good in the past month.
And it's tough to judge the beginning of the year games when we get into March. It's two different times of the year, man. I mean, March we're leading into spring. November we're going into the holidays. Like it's just two different. It's totally different. So I agree. I would have UConn just below Houston and Duke. Duke for me, I feel like they excel at home, and I think them with the March Madness neutral site games. It's more of a road game than it is a home game, regardless of where it's playing. And I don't know how that will bode for Duke. And they might be on the road this year. I'm not 100%, but I don't know. I don't know where that'll help Duke, which, talking about the Big 12 being a gauntlet, I think the ACC has at least 7 teams that are going to make the tournament.
Yeah, I think we gave them 7 bids in our latest bracketology. And with Duke, like the ACC is a solid conference. They're good. And Duke's been beating up on all of them. But they give off to me kind of that Calipari, Kentucky team vibe where they're young and they're really talented, but I don't know if they can put together a stretch of 6 games in March.
Right. And that's how I'm feeling about them as well, especially having to do it. I know it's neutral site, but it is on the road. It's not on campus. And they're a great team and they could go on a run, but like to win it all, like Duke doesn't strike me as a team that can knock off Michigan or Arizona.
No. And it's also like you could call it a smooth brain take because it's so just like service level, but their best player is a forward. And I feel like everybody that wins in March, you need a guard that's going to take over. And I don't know if Duke has that.
No, I don't think they do. And then maybe, that's a slight at Arizona because of Kewa Pete, but they do have the guard play to back it up.
Yeah, they do. I mean, it takes more at Michigan. Michigan plays through their bigs.
Yeah.
But Elliot Cadeau has proven he can be fine, which is like Michigan maybe. But I don't know. That's why I really like Kansas. Kansas has quietly won 9 straight. They're hot at the right time. Maybe they're hot too early. But if Darren Patterson, who they're calling DMP, actually plays in March Madness, I think they can easily knock off anybody.
Well, I'm glad you brought Kansas up because I did have one more tier. And again, take tier however you like it. I don't love the term. I guess this is more tier-esque, but in kind of that third tier of teams, I have Illinois there, who secretly has just this explosive offense that we haven't seen from an Illinois team, I think, in a while. They've always had good teams. They've made, I think their most recent run was Sweet 16 when they had that really good guard, blanking on the name.
Ao?
Was it Ao?
Was it Ao? They had Ao and Kofi Cockburn.
Yeah. So that Illinois, I think, is better than that team right now, at least on stats that we're seeing. Insane offense. So Illinois is right there, I think, below those other top teams. Michigan State, you can't go against Tom Izzo in March. Michigan State has the team, and I know they've had some hiccups here and there, but again, it's a different team in March. Michigan State with Tom Izzo can and will go on a run. I have Florida and Kansas. They're kind of lurking around there. I know Iowa State's there. They just lost. I don't think Ken Palm loves Iowa State.
No, Iowa State's a weird team to me.
Yeah.
I know Lipsy's still there and they're older, but I don't trust Iowa State at all.
I don't trust them at all. But I mean, rankings wise, they're going to be there. But to win it all in March, I don't have the confidence. And Florida not as dominant as they were last year, but just because they have the coach with experience, I know it's a pretty different team. I mean, they're there.
I like Florida a lot. Florida's 5th in KenPom. They don't have Clayton, they don't have Elijah Martin. The guard plays a little suspect, but they still have all the bigs they had.
Right.
I know Michigan and Arizona have been so far and away the best teams, so it feels like we have that dominant. But I think overall, in terms of the amount of good teams last year, it was harder for Florida to kind of break through. Like that Final Four last year was all time, and I know it
Yeah.
feels like we didn't have the Cinderella runs, and maybe that's because all the ones got there, but those ones were just that good. And I don't know if any of these teams are that as good as those ones were.
I don't think they are. And for every team we just talked about, so like Michigan and Arizona included.
Maybe Arizona, just because they've been that good. Like Arizona's probably better than Houston was last year, and they're probably better than Auburn was last year, but it's close.
I think it's close. I think it's a lot. I think they're better than Houston. I think it's a lot closer for Auburn, though. Like people forget that Auburn team last year was all time.
They were doing what Arizona has done.
Yeah, I mean that Auburn team. I was like, I didn't want to admit it, but I was like, this team's got to win it all. They of course didn't, but
if Florida didn't get hot, they probably would have.
Yeah. I mean that was their shot, man. I mean, they had the team of destiny last year. Every position was they were the most complete team, I think.
Yeah. Florida just had Walter Clayton.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. But I did, at the top of this third tier, I did mention Illinois. Didn't get much of a reaction from you. Sounds like you're not believing in the Fighting Illini.
I like Illinois. It's just the Brad Underwood stink and the stink of them always getting out early in the tournament.
I mean, the Sweet 16 with AO and Cockburn.
Yeah, it depends on the draw they get. Like, I'm sure they'll be one of my first reactions to the bracket. If they get a good draw, I'll be like, oh, Illinois can make a run to the Final Four here.
They might even be the Elite Eight. I forget where they landed.
It might have been the Elite Eight.
Yeah.
But I just there's going to be that. There's always those rules I have to follow, and one of them is Illinois is not going to make it to the Final Four because they're Illinois.
Right. I agree. I think we haven't seen an Illinois team like this in a while, but they are lights out. So some teams I left out here. Obviously, you have Nebraska, who we just haven't ever seen them ever. So who the hell knows what you're going to get with them? And then one of the most, if not the most experienced team, very experienced coach, big win against Nebraska the other night after blowing a huge lead. The Purdue Boilermakers, which I think we're always on the same page with Purdue. You talk about the stink with Illinois. The Matt Painter stink, it's there.
Yeah, Braden Smith's 50 years old by now. I don't understand how he still has eligibility, but
he was on the team that lost to St. Peter's.
Yeah, I think he was
years ago
sophomore on that team. I mean, they're fine, they're fun, but I think they're the 4th best team in the Big Ten. And plus the Matt Painter stink.
They were they came in as, I think, preseason favorites, number 1 team. And it was highlighted because of upperclassmen, veterans, guys who have been there. And for me, Purdue seems like a team that can lose on the first weekend, whether it's first round or round of 64, round of 32. I know they call the first round those playing games in Dayton, but that first weekend, they feel like a team that could get bounced.
Yeah. And again, this will be something that I might change my mind of once we see the bracket, but I feel like eventually if you want to take a shot on an older head coach that's been there, I like Arkansas to make a run more than I like Purdue. That's kind of the tier I put them in.
Yeah. And I that's saying a lot because I agree with you, and I'm not, Arkansas isn't blowing me out of the water in any capacity.
No, it's just the same kind of team. They got an explosive offense, but Purdue's older, but Arkansas is kind of younger. And they haven't experienced losing, so maybe they don't have that in the back of their mind in a close game, and they're hitting those shots. So maybe that's why I like Arkansas more.
Yeah, maybe.
Purdue also made it to a Final Four not that long ago, so I don't want to slight them too much. But again, they had Zach Edey and his 8 foot tall, just dominant.
Yeah, just kind of was overly dominant, could score at will, and that whole thing. But And Nebraska, I just don't know much about, man. I mean, I know they were down like 15, down 20 at one point the other night against Purdue and stormed all the way back.
Yeah, they are 1-2 since
Still
they
lost.
tweeted out a line. There was a line of students waiting to get in the stadium, and they said basketball capital of the world, and they're 1-2 since then. So that tweet cursed their season.
Yeah, that definitely did curse their season. Where do we have them in our bracketology?
They are a two. They're one of the twos that are flirting with a 3 if they lose again. So I'll pull up our bracketology real quick just to go through our top ranked teams.
Because Nebraska, they've been surging up the rankings, surging up the KenPom as well. You don't know what you got. I don't even know who their coach is.
Yeah, who is Nebraska's head coach? All right, in our latest bracketology, Nebraska is our 8th best team, so they're the last 2 seed in. They're right ahead of Florida, and I mean, honestly, the way it's trending, Florida could take over that 2 seed very soon. Like, honestly, I like our 3 line more than I do our 2 line in terms of teams I think can make a run, and Purdue's on the 3 line, but besides that, we have Florida, Illinois, and Kansas on the 3 line. And I like all those teams to make a run.
You like Florida the best, though?
I like Florida the best, and I think they'll take over that spot from Nebraska. And we still have Iowa State hanging on the 2 just because their resume has been so good, but they could falter at the end here if they play like they did against TCU.
I agree. But I don't know. For me, it's Michigan and Arizona's tournament to lose.
Yeah. Until both of them lose, it's one of them's winning.
Like they're
which obviously.
Now here's an interesting question: who do you like better, Michigan or Arizona? We've grouped them in the end category. Now we'll go one or the other to wrap it up here.
I like Arizona. I like Arizona's team. I like Arizona's team more, but May, I feel like, is just might be the best coach in college basketball right now. Might be ahead of Daniel Curley, and I think that's why I trust Michigan a little more, but I like Arizona more.
I think Arizona has been tested a little bit more, so that will help them in March. So I think that's why I give the edge to Arizona. But like I also, like you said, love Dusty May. Michigan's look dominant. I love their bigs. It's going to come down to, is the guard play going to be strong enough for Michigan, I think, where if, I don't know how the bigs have an off game, but if something doesn't go the way they need it to go, who can kind of step up, who can hit a big 3. I know they have the talent to do it, but I like the guard play with Arizona just a little bit more. And I just like they're more battle tested for me. And it's super close, man. I mean, either of these teams can win it.
It definitely feels like they're at the top. They're at the top. Where last year we had 4 that ended up getting to the Final Four, it feels like these 2 are on a collision course.
Right, which means, okay, you lock in Michigan and Arizona in your Final Four. That leaves 2 spots up for fun.
Yeah, and I think you can get real fun with it because you could go with the Kansas. You could go with Florida. You could go with Texas Tech. You could take Tennessee to make a run. You could take Purdue to make a run. Arkansas, and that's where you're going to win your bracket because you have to kind of decide this, and that's what we're going to have to dive into over these next couple of weeks of who are the 3rd and 4th best team.
Do we get back to the years of an 8, a 9, and 11 seed sneaking into the Final Four? We haven't seen it in a little while.
Just looking at some of our 9 seeds, like Indiana has some big wins this year. UCLA has Donovan Dent. They have some big wins this year. UCF is like 17-6. They've been playing winning basketball. I mean, Auburn has Keyshawn Hall. There's all these teams that we've seen make it. Miami just knocked off UNC. UNC sitting on the 5 line just knocked off Duke. Like there are chances for a lot of these teams to make a Final Four run. It's just, can they win a championship? Probably not.
Probably not, but we'll take Final Four.
Yeah, it'd be
We
more
want
fun.
the fun. We want the fun. I know it was the best product last year with all the 1 seeds, but give Michigan and Arizona their final 4 spots. You have your 2 1 seeds. You have your good product. How awesome would it be? And they'd probably be on opposite sides, but how awesome would it be if you had them 2 battle it out in a Final Four game, and then you had like a 5 seed versus an 11 seed on the other side?
You could see Santa Clara playing Vanderbilt to decide who's going to lose to Arizona or Michigan in the final.
That would be awesome. And by the way, you were ripping on Santa Clara.
I always had them. I agreed to put them on the bubble.
You agreed after I had to sell them to you.
Yeah,
you said the WCC is going to be a 2-bid league of Gonzaga and St. Mary's.
That's what it normally is. But then Gonzaga went out and lost to Portland, and now I'm convinced that Santa Clara might run the table and win the WCC tournament.
Is that what they have to do to get in?
No, they might not even have to if they beat Gonzaga in the regular season. But if they do that, who's to say a hot team like that can't go win 4 games in March?
We saw Oregon State do it when they had a losing record and randomly won. Was that the Pac last year, the Pac-12?
It's like 3 years ago.
That was still under the Pac-12, though.
Yeah, it was the Pac-12, but
because they don't play
to blend together after a while.
They don't play in a conference tournament anymore, right?
No. I believe there'll be a new Pac-12 soon with Gonzaga and with a bunch of Mountain West teams.
Okay, so the Mountain West will dissolve?
Yes.
Something's got to dissolve. You can't just add another one. Something will dissolve. Whether they just join the Mountain West or the Mountain West dissolves and you call it the Pac-12 and add those teams. But it can't be everybody.
Yeah, the new Pac-12 will debut next year. Oregon State, Washington State, Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno State, San Diego State, Utah State, Texas State, and Gonzaga. So they can still do a Mountain West. They just added Grand Canyon to the Mountain West. I think they just added North Dakota State in football.
Really?
Maybe they go over for basketball?
No way North Dakota State moved out of the FCS. That's like...
I think they did.
That's like what they do, man.
I want to say they just moved.
When you think of the FCS, you think of North Dakota State.
Yeah, Mountain West. So the Mountain West next year will be Air Force, Hawaii, Nevada, New Mexico, Northern Illinois, San Jose State, UNLV, UTEP, Wyoming, and NDSU. NDSU could win that conference.
Is that football?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Could we get North Dakota State in a college football playoff?
I don't know if they'll be eligible right away.
Oh, true.
But within a couple of years, yeah.
Wow. I mean, we got to see. I don't know. That's too much to handle right now.
Yeah, I wonder if they're making the leap in basketball, too. Because Grand Canyon's a Mountain West school in basketball now.
I mean, North Dakota State's already...
They're in the Big Sky? No, they're in the Summit League. They're in the Summit League. Right?
Either Ohio Valley or Summit.
I got to look it up now.
I don't think it's the Big Sky. I would guess Ohio Valley or Summit sounds right. Because South Dakota State's
the Big Sky.
South Dakota State's in the Summit.
Yeah, Montana, then they got to both be in the same thing.
Yeah, because Montana State, Idaho.
Summit League.
Wyoming. Is Wyoming Big Sky? No, Wyoming's Mountain West.
Mountain West.
Yeah. Interesting.
Big Sky's like Montana State.
Idaho.
Yeah.
Right?
Who else is there?
Who the hell is in the Big Sky?
I feel like it's just always Montana winning that league.
Who usually represents the Big Sky in the NCAA tournament?
Montana.
I feel like no. Montana State's been in it a few times, the Bobcats.
Yeah, so it's Portland State, Montana, Weber State, Idaho, Eastern Washington. Oh, your guys over at Northern Colorado.
There you go.
Sacramento State. Yeah, so last couple of years.
Northern Iowa? UNI?
No.
No?
Yeah, I guess the last couple of years it's been Montana State, Montana. Eastern Washington's been there a couple times, I think.
They're not ringing a bell.
Tournament winners. All right. So by year, we've had Montana, Montana State, Montana State, Montana State, Eastern Washington, Montana, Montana. North Dakota was in it before that. Weber State, Eastern Washington, Weber State, Montana. Okay, yeah. So it's been Montana, Weber State, Eastern Washington, Montana State for the past decade. That's why we don't know any of the teams in the Big Sky.
Yeah. So there you go, right there. And honestly, I feel like it's been Montana State the last couple of years.
Last year it was Montana. 3 years before that it was Montana State. Then it was Eastern Washington, and then 2 years before COVID it was Montana. So it's been Montana and Montana States for the past 7 years with one little cameo from Eastern Washington.
Dude, they're losing first round.
Yep.
Whoever it is, but that's all I got for college basketball, man.
Yeah, we just did like 30 minutes.
My brain is wiped. But right. I am excited to get more and more into it.
We will see everybody on Tuesday.
You are now in the mix.
And no, I don't think Brian's from Vermont Catamounts are going to make it this year out of the American East.
I don't think they are either. Might be seeing UMBC again.